Today I'm making two very different holiday cards. I'm showing you one that went exactly as planned and another that took so many turns I had no idea where I was ending up. Hey crafty people, it's Tasha, welcome back to my channel. If you like the video then please do give me a thumbs up, and if you aren't already subscribed I'd love it if you'd consider hitting that button. So this video is part of a video hop to celebrate Trinity's Treetops and Trimmings holiday release, which, spoiler alert, is awesome. So I'm starting, this is the ribbon wrapped tree stencil. It's a two-part stencil. I'm just getting it in place there, making sure that it is about central on that panel, which is A2. I've got some low-tack tape to secure it, and then I've used a little bit more to mask off the other half of the stencil so that I don't go wrong. So I'm adding some of this beautiful blue. This is Dress Blues, which is the newest colour from Catherine, which is out today actually, Catherine Pooler. So I'm adding that with one of these domed foam ink blenders, just because they make it really easy and quick to just stick down a lot of colour, and that's what I wanted. I wasn't going for a particularly blended look, I just wanted to get some really deep blue shades, which is what I got. So I'm lining up the other half of the stencil, and just like all of Trinity's layering stencils, there's some laser etched lines in it that show you exactly where to line it up. I've just pointed to one of them, so each place where those lines intersect, there are lines showing you exactly where your already blended lines should be. It makes it so easy. So I've gone for a slightly darker blue for the second part. This is Juniper Mist. So again, I'm using that domed ink foam applicator. Why can't I say that? Yeah, I'm using that because I just want to get a lot of colour on very quickly. And when you peel back that stencil, it's just beautiful. And everywhere where those two colours intersect, you get like a slightly different shade. And yeah, it's beautiful. I absolutely love this stencil. I decided that I wanted a little bit of ink around the edge just to frame that a little bit better. So I'm just using that same applicator, and I haven't re-inked it. I'm just using the ink that was left on it from inking that stencil, just to go around all of the edges, and that just gives us a little bit of colour there. Next, I've got the new Season's Greetings foil and cut die set. I'm not doing the foiling today, I'm just using the die cut part. So I've cut it from £110 Neenah and then also some glitter cardstock, and I'm just using my pickup tool there to poke out all of the bits that I don't want. I've stacked the glitter on top of the heavyweight cardstock, and then I'm just going to glue that now onto the shadow, which I've cut from vellum. Make sure that you don't forget or lose the little tiddle that goes above the eye. That's a little dot above the eye, and I don't stack those up in the same way that I do the rest of the sentiment. What I prefer to do is I keep all those little bits in my little tidy tray so I don't lose it. Then once I've got the word in place, I add a little dot of glue for the first one, and then I just continue stacking them up on top of each other, however many there are, and it's just easier that way. So I've then sort of positioned those over the base of my tree, slightly offset them just so that they nestle nicely against each other, and then I'm using my pickup stick to add some of these beautiful blue gems on, and I have misplaced the name in my brain which to be fair is pretty on track for me, but I will have it linked below. So I'm just adding some little gems where I think they look nice, and the other end of your pickup stick comes in really handy for just nudging them just into the right place. So that went really easy. That was exactly as I wanted it. Really happy. Next. So I've got the gorgeous new Love Danny Studios stamp. You Warm My Heart. I think that's so sweet, and yeah, it's really nice. So I stamped it out onto some Neenah £80 with the blackout ink by Ink on 3, and I did stamp it twice. Started to colour the heart in, and I really wasn't feeling it. I don't know. Looking at it now, I don't think it looks as bad as I thought that it did at the time, but I really wasn't happy with it. Didn't quite know what to do because I didn't want to have to start again completely, so I just decided to just push through and see what happened, and I'm so glad that I did. So I've just coloured the top words, just all in a nice teal shade. All the colours that I'm using will be linked and listed on my blog. And now I'm colouring the heart, the word heart, not the heart. And I'm just colouring it in some oranges and like golden yellows. I think I was going for a kind of like heat, warmth, fire, heart. Yeah, I think that's where my mind was sort of slightly heading, even if I wasn't thinking it consciously at the time. And I'm just doing a bit of an ombre look, which is just really easy to do, just with a few different coloured markers. Started with the darkest at the bottom and then just get progressively lighter as we go up. And once I'd coloured it all in, I then went over it again just to make sure that I'd got a nice blend between those colours. And I really love how that ended up. So I'll take this moment to say, yes, it is a video hop. We are celebrating the Treetops and Trimmings release, and we're celebrating with the hop here on YouTube and another one also on Instagram. So once you've finished the YouTube hop, be sure to head over to Instagram for another chance to win. So if you leave a comment on the videos throughout this hop, then you will be entered and be in with the chance of winning one of two $25 gift cards to the Trinity shop, where you can go and pick up any of this awesome release from today. And yeah, it's awesome. I just love it. And there are so many brilliant, incredibly talented people on this hop, so I can't wait to see what everybody's made. So I decided that I wanted a bit of a background, and I had a sort of idea roughly where I was going with this, but I wasn't sure whether it was going to work. But my theme for this card was to just keep going and see what happens. And again, I'm just really glad that I did. So I've got my Cool Grey Shade 1 Copic marker, and I'm just adding some vertical lines right the way across the panel. Not particularly like trying hard to keep them straight or equidistant, anything like that, just adding them in. Once I'd done all of those vertical ones, I then added some slightly thicker, my goodness me, slightly thicker lines horizontally, sort of aiming for about the same sort of a distance between them again. You can see there I'm just going straight across where the image and the writing is, and just doing my best to get around that, but again, really not too I'm just doing it, just seeing what happens. I then decided that I wanted the little crossover bits to be a bit darker than they were, so I grabbed this is C3. This is C3, and yeah, I'm just drawing a box around where those two stripes meet each other, and then filling all of that in with the C3 just to darken it a bit. I've then got the next darkest that I have, which happens to be the C5, and I'm just drawing like thin lines, really holding the pen very vertically so that it's just the tip that is going across the page, to draw lines between all of those thicker lines. I'm hoping that you can start to see the pattern that I was going for. I wanted like a plaid tartan kind of effect, and I love how it came out. So I decided to add a little bit of bling by adding some silver lines with gel pen inside each of those lighter grey lines. And I love it. I love it. I don't know if I've actually said, but all of the details for the hop will be down below in my description box, along with the link to the next person in the hop. And still didn't like that red heart that I'd coloured, so I decided to make use of some of the fantastic dies that come, the coordinating dies for this set. So I cut out each of the individual pieces for the heart. I cut it from just some red and green cardstock, which again I will have linked. I think it is from the Stamp Market, I believe. And I wanted to add a little bit of definition and darken some of them a little bit. So I grabbed just some blender brushes that I used recently that just had a little bit of green and or a little bit of red on them still. I didn't ink them up or anything, and I just used that to sweep over around the edges just to give it a little bit more definition. Then I'm now sticking those scarf pieces on. Now the die set actually comes with a heart that's just a heart, which is what you are meant to use when you're doing this, but I got a bit confused. I don't even know. And I cut the one that cuts out the whole image. I think it's because I was thinking then that way I know where the scarf goes because it's clear. But yeah, there is just a standard heart, so you wouldn't have to, like, I go around and just trim out some of the places where the heart goes, like the red shows up past the green accents. So to add a bit more definition, I used a Copic marker just to darken those stripes that they are debossed into the scarf and the hat, but I just darkened them up a little bit, and I'm loving how that looks. To add a little bit more sparkle, I grabbed out my Pixie drops, Pixie something, oh goodness, the Ink on 3 sparkly drops, which again are in the Trinity shop, and I've just sort of watered them down a little bit, and I'm just brushing them all over that red heart. So you want to be careful because this isn't watercolour paper, but it will take just, a little amount of water to add some sparkle onto the heart, because I just think that's super cute and I really, really love how it turned out. So I'm really glad that I pushed through, because I think if I hadn't, I wouldn't have ended up with the card that I've got, because, I just had to keep thinking of ways to change up what I was doing when I didn't like it, and because I kept going with that, I've come out with something that I absolutely love. So I did add the heart there with some foam squares. So those are my cards, my 2 cards. I love them. I'm definitely going to be using that plaid kind of technique more when I try some different colours for my holiday cards. So let me know in the comments below if you've got a favourite of these 2 cards, and if you've got a story where you've kind of overcome a creative obstacle yourself and ended up with something that you love. If you like the video, then please do give me a thumbs up, and as I said, I would love it if you'd please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Don't forget to head to the next link in the hop, leave them some love. There are some amazingly talented women on this hop. They are awesome. I hope that you have a lovely, happy, safe and wonderful week. Stay crafty. Bye.